third point that Sadhguru makes, and this is a really interesting point that he made to me, because I have been a new father. I have a wonderful stepdaughter who's 15 years old, who's crushing it right now. But I've got two young boys that are 2 and 3 years old. And I said to Sadhguru, I said, I always worry about how to raise my boys. I'm always thinking I got to turn them into men and responsible citizens and guys that can be tough but also can be emotional, and that can be kind but also can go out and hold their own. And I'm always thinking about how to raise these kids. And Sadhguru said, Brian, you don't raise kids. He's like, you raise cattle, you raise flowers, but you don't raise kids. He said, those are just a joy, a blessing that is given to you. What you're there is there to allow them to raise themselves and allow them to go through their own exploration. And so here's Sadhguru talking a little bit about this concept of don't raise your kids. I have two young boys, 2 and 3 years old. How do I raise them in this age to make sure they…
See, we use the word raise only for cattle. Human beings you don't raise. Even for plants we say we cultivate, but only for cattle, sheep, we say we raise the flock. So this raise thing has come from a very religious backgrounds. You want to raise them, that means you want to raise them in such a way that they will not think one thing more than what you teach them. This is a way of subjugating future generations. This is a way of subjugating human intelligence. No, you should not raise your boys. They don't belong to you, you must understand this. Just a privilege that they've come through you. It's a privilege you must enjoy, create the necessary atmosphere, a healthy, loving, nice, pleasant atmosphere so that they will grow of their own accord. You raising them means you screwing them up. That's what raising them means. Please don't do it.
So who would have known? I'm not supposed to raise my kids. But it's an interesting point, because if I watch Caden and Damon, Caden just turned 3 years old, Damon's gonna be 2 very soon. We think as parents that it's all about us. It's a very egoic thing, that I'm gonna project myself on them and I'm gonna make them into what they are. But if I'm really honest, these boys were born with separate personalities, separate likes and dislikes, and there's only so much I can do. So what I can do is I can give them an environment that's free from stress and drama. I can give them opportunities to go out there and explore and learn for themselves, but there's probably only so much I can project of myself onto them, and if I do too much, it can be damaging. And we've all known someone who grew up with a parent that never went to college, right? So what does that mean? You had to go to college. And if anyone's out there, type yes or tell me your story in the chat if you've ever had to fulfill a dream that your parent couldn't fulfill, right? And a lot of parents like, oh, I want my kids to go to college, and a lot of moms and dads want you to be a doctor or a lawyer, but they never thought that maybe you don't want to be a doctor or a lawyer. But a lot of times they want you so they can feel good about themselves or tell their friends that you do something and they're impressed. But at the end of the day, what does the child want, or what do you actually want? And I think that's a really important point to make as parents. And as I watch my boys evolve, I need to understand that this is their life and their experience. And they're not there for me to rattle off their CV when I'm flying next to someone in a plane. What does your kid do? Oh, they graduated from Stanford and now they're working for Goldman Sachs. Oh, wow, that's really impressive. Well, what if Caden doesn't want to work at Goldman Sachs? What if it makes him miserable? I've just projected all of my garbage onto him, whether it's my own lackings in life or my own failings from my own family and my own background. Now I've pushed that onto them, and it becomes this kind of inverted cycle of parenting.
At London Real, we believe that individual transformation can change the world. Join us and start your journey today.